First of all, how is it already 2025? I am still accidentally writing 2024, and we're halfway through February, which is a little bit crazy. So I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about some new ideas, new video series, new plans I have for the channel that have me quite excited. We all know the world of social media, YouTube, with the algorithm and views and comments, engagement, revenue, that's how you survive. And I wanted to keep things interesting, evolve the channel, new directions, try new things, because that's how you survive and thrive in the world of social media. Been doing a lot of thinking, looking at past videos, things that have worked well, things that haven't worked well, talked to some friends, and just sat down and thought about what I wanted to do with my channel, try a couple of different things. So we're gonna do a high-level overview of what to expect from my channel and me over the course of the next year. I've been doing a lot of thinking about the kinds of videos and cars that I film. So something about me is I truly do enjoy a pretty wide range of vehicles. I love my enthusiast sports cars, supercars, performance cars. I've owned some pretty awesome vehicles, been very lucky in that way. Gotten to drive some really epic cars. But at the same time, I also find it cool to check out what different automakers are doing for mainstream vehicles, regular different vehicles, whether it's SUVs, luxury vehicles, trucks, EVs, and on and on. But I think I've identified that can be a little bit of a challenge in terms of the YouTube world. You see some channels, they only do supercars, or they only do rebuilds, or they only do vlogs, or they only do this type of thing, mainstream family car reviews. So you have a more specialized content, and by my perception, that can help build consistent repeatability of the audience. So one of the things I think is a problem is you come to my channel, one week I might be driving a Kia, and then it's an Aston Martin, and then it's a Ferrari, and then it's a GMC Yukon, right? So it's kind of all over the place, so you never know what to expect. But how do I balance that with the fact that I do enjoy getting these various cars from the manufacturers, right? I just had a Range Rover Sport plug-in hybrid that got picked up, and then a Chevy Silverado EV was dropped off. I have an Explorer ST coming up. I have an Aston Martin DBX 707, and then a Mercedes. So it's fun to get to try all these different things and create the content, but I feel like that has led to, it's like an almost inconsistency. It's all over the place what you're getting when you come to the channel. So that made me consider starting a second channel. Now, I don't think I'm going to do that now. Currently, the plan is not to do that, but I was thinking I'll turn my main channel, EddieX, the one you're watching right now, into a more kind of vlog, informal, focused thing where I can show all sorts of different vehicles and incorporate that into day-to-day life and do those kind of automotive reviews, but also expand it beyond simply just the technical review of a vehicle, and then have a separate channel where I just do the more enthusiast-focused car reviews. Now, a couple pros and cons with that, juggling a second channel and the variety of content and the logistics, and I'm just a one-person thing, right? I don't have a team, I don't have an editor, I don't have a video person, I just do everything by myself. I do have friends who will help out. I really appreciate that when I've got friends or an owner of the car to come help out, but if it's a press car, it's just me with a camera figuring out how to do it. And that was a genuine consideration. I love doing the living with vlogs. I think it's a lot of fun, and I've had some really positive feedback when we incorporate the vehicle into day-to-day life and show what it's like genuinely to live with it over the course of the week. The way it works with these press cars is I schedule them, I request them, they end up on my calendar, and I drive them for a week to evaluate them, to see what it's like. And I just have a camera with me at all times, whether Angel and I are going to the grocery store, to Costco, or we're going to dinner, or we're running errands, or I'm taking out specifically to go drive it and talk about certain things about the driving dynamics or the interior, exterior, and so forth. So I really like those living with vlogs, and I think it's a cool way to incorporate the range of vehicles, and it's a really interesting way to share what the vehicle is like, and I've had some really positive comments on those. So I want to keep doing those. But then we get to the reviews. Not every car, I think, is worthy of a full, in-depth, more cinematic review in addition to the living with vlog. The vlog really covers all these various things. I make sure I talk about the technology, the powertrain, the interior, the exterior styling, how it positions in the market, and then we just make it a little more informal and fun. There's some funny moments when Angel was struggling to climb into a giant lifted Silverado HD or something like that. But I still love doing these like really produced, formal reviews. It's a lot of fun. They get to be more creative, get the different shots. So I want to continue doing those, and had an idea of branching those off to a whole separate channel. Came up with the name Exhausted Reviews, enthusiast-focused car reviews only. And that would just be internal combustion cars, performance cars, things that like I've owned, right? My Shelby 350R, R8s, Aston Martins, on and on and on. And I think the ultimate conclusion I came to was, let's give it a shot on the main channel first. So I'm essentially reorganizing, streamlining the kinds of videos on my main channel and maybe tailoring the vehicle type, content type slightly. So here's the plan. I'll just get it out of the way. The video series I have planned. There's 3. We're going to have Exhausted Reviews, we're going to have the Living With vlogs, and we're going to have another one I'll talk about in a moment called Sunset Drives. So the Exhausted Reviews are going to be enthusiast-focused reviews. Those are the ones where I pull out all the stops. I get the cameras and do all the B-roll shots and the drive-bys and the rollers and go really in depth and make them really engaging, interesting. And I'm really excited about this. I've already filmed a handful of them. I'll include some preview clips right now. The Dodge Viper was a bit of a dinosaur that was able to outlast the asteroid known as modernization and digitization. This brutal relic of an old school era of performance literally would take on European exotics multiple times the price and win. Just look at the Gen 5 ACR setting track records everywhere. Theory that Porsche has had to deliberately limit the potential of the mid-engine 718 platform as to not infringe upon the Big Brother 911. You have to preserve that family hierarchy. It's illustrated by the fact that the regular GT4 and 718 Spider have a 4-liter flat 6, but not the 4-liter flat 6. So I'm very excited to create reviews like this, special videos for special cars. I've already filmed a few as you saw, and I'll keep working on those. And then there'll be a subsection under the Exhausted Reviews umbrella on depreciated enthusiast cars. So Exhausted Reviews, again, is only about enthusiast-focused internal combustion, really cool vehicles. And depreciated came about because my $50,000 CPO Audi A8L got a lot of attention. A lot of people found that very interesting. I was like, oh, I should do reviews on these depreciated deals, enthusiast vehicles that you can buy for a fraction of the original MSRP. I know there are reviews out there like that, but it'll be my own unique take on it. And I've already shot a couple of those too, about cars that are still really cool that any enthusiast would love to own, but the price point when new was terrifying, and now the depreciation was terrifying, and the price you can get them for now is just almost unbelievable. So we'll have a kind of a series of reviews under the depreciated line that falls within the Exhausted Review. So I'll get into the schedule I'm going to try to adhere to later on. The Living With vlogs, I'm going to continue. I get these press cars scheduled or my own cars, and those are going to be more informal. So I'd like to still do a vlog a day, or not a day, a vlog a week. That'd be insane. I can't keep up with that. A vlog per week, and typically they'll be scheduled out. I'll have a vehicle, I'll film it, talk about it, share what it's like to live with, incorporate it, have some fun. We'll take it on road trips. We've done a couple of those with Angel, going to Toronto. We went camp, like a little cabin in the woods type of thing, go to Chicago, and document what it's like living with a car and do a review in that way. So those will be the 2 takes. I think the way I'm going to split it is a lot more of the still interesting, but not necessarily like super enthusiast focused vehicles will go under the Living With vlog. So I'll kind of make a judgment call. This car here, I've got a S63 AMG. Well, that's a pretty awesome, badass vehicle. That's going to get a full, proper review. But if it's what's a good example? For example, that GLC 43 AMG I had, that's a great candidate for just a Living With vlog. We're still getting the review coverage into it, right? I'm still putting a lot of effort into filming all the time with the vehicle, but not quite the same level. And you'll see a slight different take to it. So those 2 videos, and then the last one, Sunset Drives. That I started having some fun with a POV camera, just sticking the action camera on my forehead. I've already done 2 of these, and those are meant to be very informal, conversational, casual. I have a whole list of different topics that range from the one that just was posted was cool variants of the C8 Corvette that Chevy should make. Should Chevy make a Z06 hybrid? What is the Zora going to be like? Are we going to get a Corvette SUV? And I just grab a car, whatever car I had for the week. That week was a Chevrolet Stingray, Corvette Stingray, which is very, very fitting. But whatever I have, drive it, talk about various things. Could be business, career. I want to do one on what it was like balancing a full-time job and doing YouTube and some of the tips and tricks and challenges that I found, because I did that for a very long time up until recently quitting my job. That could be a fun one too. Just grab a car, go for a 20-30 minute drive and just talk about what it was like quitting a full-time job, because that was a pretty big decision. It was a little bit nerve-wracking and on and on. We have other topics that I have lined up too and would welcome feedback. Hopefully that series builds momentum. So I'm going to be disciplined and try to do one of those per week. They're not meant to be super overproduced, almost as if it's like a driving podcast. I did reach out to Tedward because he has some similar kinds of things as driving therapy, and I didn't want to just like infringe upon his idea, but I was like, I had a similar idea. I want to do my own take, and would you mind if I tried something like that? And he's like, go for it. So thank you to Tedward. Obviously check out his channel, but super awesome guy and always supportive of other creators out there. So that was great. So I included some samples. I've talked about the debate of the second channel or the main channel. Comment below what you think, right? So I have, it's a bandwidth type of thing too, and just, do I want to take on that? There was another reason behind that thought. YouTube seems to be prioritizing smaller new channels too. So I've seen some people start new channels. If you just look at your homepage, started noticing, usually it's the biggest videos, trending videos, the channels you follow. Those are the videos you get when you go to YouTube at first, the homepage. Recently, there have been some videos that you go, oh, what's this video? I don't recognize the channel or the creator. And it's got a couple hundred views, very, very small channel. So YouTube almost seems to be shifting the algorithm to try to prioritize the growth of these brand new channels. Great for bringing new creators in, not as great for people who have been doing YouTube for longer. So the idea was, maybe do I start a second channel to try to capitalize on that? But then there's all the other challenges too of, well, you have to get to monetization again, right? There's those minimum thresholds in order to monetize a video, reaching audience, getting to grow again. Sorry, my camera overheated and turned off. That's the one downside on shooting on this ZV-E1. It's the compact body size, and when you talk for a long time like I've been talking for, it can overheat versus the larger A7 body. Anyways, where was I? Exhausted reviews, building the channel, the sunset drives, living with vlogs. I have utterly no idea where my train of thought was, which is going to be really confusing when I'm editing this video because you guys won't see a gap when there was a gap because I had to wait for the camera to cool down. Anyways, there's so much to do, so many things to work on, but this gives me a direction that I'm really excited for. I have a schedule in mind. Every Monday, we'll do a sunset drives video. So comment below if you have any specific topics you want me to talk about. We'll do a Q&A section. It's like a driving podcast, I guess. Wednesday will be an exhausted review. Every week, Wednesday, I will have a nicely produced, just interesting, cool vehicle to share and talk about. That one is going to be the biggest challenge to film, line up cars, film that content, edit it. It will take more time, but I am so excited about doing reviews like this, and I hope the audience enjoys watching them. And then Fridays, we'll do the living with vlog, all right? Those I will be continuing on. I really enjoy filming those too. It's a lot of fun. More informal, talking about the car, sharing it, see what it's like. Maybe other kinds of vlogs too, travel, other aspects of life, starting to gradually expand. But that's the goal. I think I may start gradually moving away from some of the, how do I phrase this? The vehicle, I don't know how to phrase this actually. I'm going to focus on the more interesting vehicles. Exhausted reviews are going to be enthusiast focused, internal combustion, like the cars that as a car person, you immediately gravitate towards and know, right? AMGs, BMW M cars, sports cars, supercars, manual performance stuff, trucks like a Raptor off-road, that kind of stuff. You'll immediately know, yep, that's a cool thing. The living with vlogs gives me a little bit more flexibility, but I'm trying to think about, do I still create content on really mainstream stuff? That may not be my forte. It's interesting getting to see what they're like, but at the same time, it's a lot, it's jarring to go from, I mean, sometimes I get to film a supercar, right? The P1, and then all of a sudden it's a Kia minivan. You're like, the same channel? It's a debate. It's a debate. I don't think I have a 100% correct answer. I don't claim to be the peak expert on these type of things. I can't see the future. So I'm just being very transparent, sharing some of the ideas I want to do for this year. But I'm super excited. And that's ultimately what's the most important thing. When I pick up a camera, go grab a car, am I excited to talk about this car, do the video, because that will translate, and I have to keep myself engaged to make engaging, authentic content. And if I'm spending all day shooting the 1999 Mercury Villager that I drove in high school, I probably would go insane and lose my mind. Of course, there's also short form content. That's the other challenge. When I first started doing YouTube stuff, we just had to worry about taking a thumbnail or actual YouTube video and then maybe make a post on Instagram, but now I'm going to do shorts and Instagram reels, Facebook reels, static posts, carousel photos, different aspect ratios. You can't really you could repurpose it sometimes. There's like software now that'll pull the best clips from your long form YouTube video and translate it into a short form catchy reel and put it out there. But I found some of them, they don't do the best job of it, so there's still some manual work in creating different kinds of short form video. Anyways, I'm rambling at this point. Suffice to say, there's lots of things to do, lots of cool ideas. If you're local to Michigan, I go out to Phoenix, Arizona all the time, Scottsdale area, LA, you have a cool car, you want to do a review with me, please reach out on Instagram. You can email me, comment below. I always appreciate that. We recently did Brian's Viper, which you saw. We filmed Alex's new to her 2019 Aston Vantage. We did an S63 AMG. We did a Ferrari F430 owned by my friend Harris. We did a Spider RS. So I already have some cool things lined up. I've got other vehicles on the horizon. And of course, once the weather warms up in Michigan, it'll be much nicer because I've been kind of fleeing out west to go film to California and Arizona because nice roads and nice weather and no snow. Anyways, that's it. That's an update. It was a little bit chaotic rambling, but I wanted to talk about it before I just started pumping these videos out. I am super excited for what 2025 holds. This is year 2 of me doing full-time content creation, trying to make my way through, not having a full-time job, no 9 to 5. It's interesting. I have a separate video talking about what it's been like reflecting on it, but I appreciate all the support. Comment below what you think of the new ideas, what you would like to see, any questions you may have. I would do my best to answer them. As always, thanks for the support and thanks for watching.